Yeah, so basically, because what Founder Matcher does is we're about connecting developers, so founders with developers, specifically like the first developers, sort of like early stage startups, trying to get something from going from idea to implementation. So are you someone who's like technical as far as building your product from idea into actual implementation?
So I think I'm more operations. We do have a CTO and a chief marketing officer. They're both technical. So I think I'm like the business lead in the sense. Yeah.
I see. So when it came to actually finding someone to be the technical side of it, did you have someone in mind for that, or did you actually have to go through the process of finding someone, especially the difference between being, just someone to build like, an MVP, something basic, to actually having a CTO. How did you go about finding a CTO?
Okay, so for us, especially as a startup, we were very value oriented. So we do have like a pool of, or I would be personal now, I have a pool of people within my network that are very tech savvy. They've been senior software developers for years. It came down to someone that aligned with the values of Accendia and what we are trying to do. So what we are trying to do is get people that are interested in transitioning into the tech space to get them there. So it took us reaching into our community or our network to look for someone that is as skilled, but also has the same values, someone that has mentored before, someone that has supported the community before. And yes, the technical thing is, I think it's a bonus for us because we have so many technical people, especially in this day in 2025. There's so many technical people, but the add-on for us was someone that was in alignment with everything that we're trying to do.
Well, of course, like you say, the technical side of it, no one can avoid it nowadays. We all do online. There's going to be a technical side of it. And especially with a startup like yours, that is very tech oriented and getting people involved in it. Is there sort of like what's like a perfect relationship within a team though of like, so for you being non-technical and having technical co-founders or having CTO, what's the perfect relationship for you between yourself and them? What's the kind of communication like?
I think it's translation of where we're trying to get to. And while he's speaking all of the technical terms and writing all of the codes, I am translating what it should look like in practice, especially with what our service users or our customers want to see. So the sort of relationship we have is the one where it is very easy to interpret any work that's being done, and it's also very easy to see how users are able to access any work that's being done. So that's in terms of the products that we're trying to build. But outside of the product, work relationship, I would say is pretty standard. Our community is scaling really fast, in fact, scarily fast. And so keeping a sort of relationship where we are open in terms of how how well we are building our products, any integration, any sort of integration that has to go into the product, as well as getting the users to actually give us an idea of what they would like to see in that product is very, very fundamental for us. And that's how our relationship works currently.
You've always got to keep that really close,
Yeah.
especially as you scale. It's difficult to keep it a really good close hold on what the customers actually want. And I feel like that's what the technical side really, they can get a bit far away from that. There's the thing the tech side want, and it doesn't always line up with that. Have you had friction with the tech side of it as far as what you think features wise should be next, and what the tech side is thinking?
I think, of course, if there's no friction, then are we even trying to build something?
There you go.
So, for us, I mean, there are times where we get carried away by what we see in the market or what we think should be implemented into the product. But I think it's always, so I'm a project manager by background. So normally I would bring together the technical people within a team. So it's always very fundamental to understand what the project goals are, in this sense, our products. So what do we need implemented within the products? What do we need to integrate? So keeping that in mind, every time there is a friction or every time there is a change. So for example, I've seen some other product that has XYZ. Can we implement XYZ into our product? It just has to do with an understanding of where we are trying to go, trace back to where we are trying to go, or forward to where we're trying to go, and then trace back to where we are now and see how we can sort that out without being too personal with the friction.
And so I think we've got time for one more question, because I think this is great. So I just want to know, so outside of just technical skills, because we know that with anyone technical, obviously the technical skills are sort of the building, you need that. But outside of that, I feel like that's what makes the difference between sort of having a good programmer and actually having someone who you can really help build your business out into something that can be amazing. What skills outside of just technical ability do you look for in a technical co-founder, CTO, someone to help actually build out your business?
I think number one is teamwork, definitely. And number two is a broad understanding of what we are trying to do. Because if that is missing, we would always have to derail at some point. So someone that aligns perfectly with our values again. People skills. Because there are times
Some
where
programmers don't, dude.
and there are times where you have to communicate these technicalities to a non-technical audience. So people skills, very, very important. Very important to us. We are in the early stage of building. So the truth is, at some point, we would definitely be looking forward to reaching out to software developers outside of our organization. And we have been trying to see how we can imbibe a culture that is open. So in case we have outside people coming in, we're so open that we're able to communicate any change that we want or any idea that we need to be implemented. So people skills, teamwork, 100%, and communication.
That sounds great. And just because I forgot to do this at the start, could you just give your name and just quickly describe your startup for us just before we end?
Okay, my name is Omon and I'm building Accendia. So Accendia is currently 73 days old. It's an edtech startup that's focused on helping tech enthusiasts and tech professionals transition properly into the tech space here in the UK. So we're doing this by leveraging on mentorship and internship placement opportunities. So we currently have our community members who are our mentees, and within our community, we also have our corporate partners that are currently providing internship slots as well as entry-level job role slots for our community members.
That sounds amazing. Honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been a pleasure. That was really enjoyable.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Great.